Hey guys, so yes, yet another Republican debate's over, and this is another analysis video. This debate, I think, had kind of a clear winner, just because nobody was able to land blows on this in particular individual, and because he's kind of sitting pretty on the polls, and his competition's kind of collapsing, and that person would, of course, be Romney. At least during the television part of the debate, nobody really landed blows on him. He answered all questions fairly middle of the road, enough basically to satisfy all sides, which is kind of, you know, what Romney does. And I think that it made all the other candidates, all the foreign policy questions, made all the other candidates seem a little, I don't want to say underprepared, but they just kind of didn't seem like somebody who I'd want to be sitting next to the button. Now, that's my personal opinion. I think the person that had the most improvement, though, who really helped himself in this debate, is the person who hurt himself so dramatically in the last debate, and that would be Perry. He definitely helped himself by making jokes about his gaffe, you know, from the last debate. I think that but it's kind of like, he shot himself so many times in the foot that I don't know how much him trying to fix this one's really going to help. So I don't really see any major comeback yet for him. I think that the candidate that I think will probably see some improvement in the polls, just because he didn't shoot himself in the foot that much, and he didn't come off as a dick like he does in almost every single debate, or at least as much as of one, is probably Gingrich, Old Newt Gingrich. He wasn't as much of an asshole. He's always kind of a dick in these debates, so it was kind of refreshing to see him. You know, he's still a little bit of a dick, but he really improved from the last time when he got into that little fight with that, you know, poor lady who's told to ask questions and stuff. I'll say that, you know, Ron Paul did a pretty good job supporting his own cause. He actually got buttressed, or I'm not even going to use that word. He got support from Huntsman on his positions on foreign policy. You know, pulling the troops out, torture, his waterboarding, all that stuff. He actually got some support from Huntsman, which was surprising because I honestly hadn't looked into what Huntsman's stands were on these issues, because I didn't see any real chance of him getting elected. So it was interesting to see that he kind of came out on a more moderate position compared to the rest of the Republicans. And all the rest of the Republicans were basically, you know, they were talking about how we should really be preparing for, I guess, war with Iran. They talked about Pakistan as, you know, not really a friend. And they talked about cutting foreign aid to countries. And actually, Perry went as far as to suggest that we think about cutting aid to Israel, or we consider it, basically. Everybody would start out with zero cash on the floor, or I guess cash in the wallet, or I don't know, some saying like that. I think Bachmann didn't really get enough attention really to make a statement, though she did get a lot of cheers with her answer to the torture question, you know, his waterboarding torture. I thought the candidate that probably did poorer than he usually does in most of these debates was Cain. Cain seemed to be thinking a lot more than he usually does with each answer, and it kind of just came across as him being a little, you know, slow. But then again, you know, these are tough questions, and I'd want somebody who was a commander-in-chief to think about these issues for a moment. So, you know, that's not a knock against him. I'm just saying that it didn't look that great in debates. You know, you're supposed to be concise, quick, fast. You know what I'm saying? Come up with delivery. Who else to talk about? Santorum. I thought, you know, Santorum, I don't know. He just was there, I guess. I think that's all the candidates. I thought that the problem with this debate, how do I put it? This debate had one crucial flaw in it in comparison to other debates, and that is that they limited the time so strictly that it was hard to really get their position fully rounded. And this kind of made the debates, I don't want to say hollow, but it made it difficult to understand exactly where they stood. And I kind of wish that they would have spent more time on each of the issues. You know, I mean, it's kind of like what Gingrich said last debate. You know, they were trying to, you know, they were talking about, I think, healthcare, and, you know, they had 30 seconds to answer, and he was complaining about that. And I think this as well, foreign policy, should be one of those things where we actually spend more than 30 seconds or a minute on individual issues. They're kind of important, especially when you're picking a president. But yeah, no, I think that the problem that the party's going to have is that on foreign policy, Obama's actually got a pretty good argument that he's he's strong on foreign policy. He killed Osama bin Laden. We didn't really lose anybody in Libya. We're not bogged down in that war. With his base, he's pulling out of Iraq. Those are some strong arguments for a person in the Democratic Party or even a moderate. So foreign policy is kind of one of those issues where you've got to pick somebody who's credible and has some, something with him, like he was a former general or something, to really compete against a foreign policy that, even if you think it's been bad, he can point to these successes. So it's hard to see any of these candidates really delivering on that. Of course, the election's probably going to focus on the economy, but you never know. If we go to war with Iran, then I guess that's out of the window. But we'll see what happens. That's basically it. Subscribe, comment, rate. I know I didn't put up all the video clips from the last debate, and there's a reason for that, and it's very simple. I actually cut out, I went through the debate and I made, I made my highlight reel, but then I went and watched CNN, and they had basically the same clips. So I was like, well, this is kind of pointless. Yeah, they didn't have, 16 Ron Paul, shots or whatever, a couple extra Ron Paul shots. But I think overall the media was basically going to cover what I was going to cover, so I didn't want to really go into that. And also it's kind of a hassle. So, but I will have highlights up from this debate shortly. That's basically it. Subscribe, comment, rate. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.